have not done an unpopular opinion posted video in a while. So I did take the time to write them down on post-its, maybe like 8 or so. So I have 8 unpopular opinions of my own that we will get into. I always preface these unpopular opinions with, they're just mine, and I'm just a Joe Schmo, a Jane Schmo. I'm just a Jane Schmo on the internet, so don't get too worked up. If you have a difference of opinion, just make your own video about it. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We're not here to argue, okay? Before we get into the video, I will pop some gum in my mouth, and we will do channel maintenance, channel hygiene. So, if you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back. Oh, geez. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. And if you're old here, go double check, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like if you like. Leave a comment. It could be anything related to the video. It could just be a hello, a few emojis, whatever. Hit the notification bell. As always, I will link my tip jars down yonder in the description box. No pressure whatsoever, but every $1 or $2 helps. That's what allows me to continue to make content. Especially because my views are down. My views are down. I didn't change a damn thing. They just dropped 1 week. And yeah, it's messing with my brain. It's happened before. I don't know. Like, on one hand, it's an opportunity to just say screw it and do whatever you want to do, because there's no better time. But like I said, I didn't change anything. And you could say, well, maybe that's why. Maybe you need to change. Maybe I do. But I refuse to believe that in 1 week that's the reason. Like, the week before, everything was fine, and then that week, stop. Okay. So I'm kind of at the whatever stage right now, which is a beautiful place to be. Beautiful place to be. All right. Unpopular opinion of mine, number 1, that we need to stop. I've stopped, but sending balloons to heaven, okay? Sending balloons to heaven. Even if you believe in heaven, and I get the gesture, I get it. You know that a balloon only makes it up so far. And that heaven is another realm anyways, right? And you also know that balloons are toxic and they hurt animals, and I don't know if toxic's the right word, but they're litter. And animals can choke on them, and they just end up in a field somewhere, choking out an animal, okay? There is alternatives. They do make biodegradable balloons. They're probably more pricey, which I get, but at the same time, can I just say this? I understand why a lot of people might want to come to somebody's funeral, why that might be a large number, or their wake. But how many people need to be at the balloon thing? How many people need to be at that extra private? Shouldn't it be like just the closest to you? And how many, like, I know I'm an introvert, so my numbers are probably pretty low. But how many people need to be at that, like, extra bit? That the people that are mourning it extra hard. 10, 20? Can you be that close with more than 20 people that are taking your death extra hard? I don't know, because like I said, my gauge might be off for that because I'm an introvert. You know, probably your parents, if they're still here. Usually not the case. That's the worst case scenario, is that your parents outlive you. But, you know, your siblings, maybe their spouses, and then your nieces, nephews, and your own children. Yeah. A couple best friends, maybe. But like your neighbors, your cousins that you didn't talk to much. I don't know that a ton of people need to be at. And if there is, we can think of other ideas. We can think of other ideas than sending out plastic balloons out up to heaven, okay? How about like sending prayers up? I don't know. There's got to be an alternative. There's the biodegradable balloons. Maybe there's biodegradable string for the balloons. I don't know. But we can't do this anymore. Our deceased will want us to keep this planet habitable. So, I've done it a long, long time ago before I put much thought into the process. Now that I have, I can't continue to co-sign for that. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to rip it. I used to rip these. Okay. Next, we have trends aren't real. I don't think trends are real. I mean, yeah, they're real. But I think that trends are just started to make you buy stuff. And the rate of which trends have been coming and going is so preposterous. It's so preposterous. Like, we're really out here falling for it. I'm trying not to, because this is freaking silly. That every like 2 weeks they're like, oh, we're not doing it like that anymore. We're doing it like this. So you need to order a few more things so that you can have this. Like, stop. Let's just bring back classic. I do like that the trend of the minimalistic 90s is back, because any minimalistic trend is I think what we should be gravitating towards. I think it'll allow us to have like less pieces and rewear our stuff more often. But yeah, like, oh, you need to have your socks need to be this height. Oh, you can't wear Crocs without socks, and you can't. Now this week you can. And the rate at which these trends are changing, I'm not just saying that because I'm old. I am old. That's not why I'm saying, because I watch fashion videos all the time. Just to get a kick out of stuff. Like, really? That the last month you said something else, and nobody should be trying to keep up with that. I think it's just created so that we keep buying stuff, so that we keep being consumers of fast fashion and trends and whatnot. I will say one thing. The Stanley tumblers are good quality tumblers. You know, I used to be a stupid consumer for my Starbucks cups until I realized, like, why do I have all these colors? I don't even like these colors. I like them. I like the tumbler, but I'm more of like a monochrome type chick. So it's stupid to collect them. So I stopped. Sold them all. Gave them away. I had my daughter take some to school. Like, hey, anybody you think that like would be happy to have these, pass them out. And I kept like my neutral ones and like my Halloween ones, like stuff, the ones that really bring me joy. But they do not keep drinks cold for very long. I still use it for like my morning coffee, my iced coffees, stuff that I know I'm gonna drink fast. But if I need a tumbler that is going to get me through the day with water, and I want it to be a little cold because I like my drinks just a little above room temperature. A couple pieces of ice in, fill my Stanley tumbler, or another like metal. But this, I do think the Stanley, and then one of my Dunkin' Donut ones, those keep my drinks at the temperature I want them at the whole freaking day. So if you're not buying it as a trend, or do what you want to do too. Like, if that's what brings you joy, do what you want to do. Okay. Celebrities and politicians need to be held at least, especially politicians, at least at the same level of like criminal charges as a normal person. They get so many free cards to misbehave and break the law. It's ridiculous. And then don't we have like the former president trying to say that he shouldn't have any charges about anything because he was a president? Like, no, higher standards. All of you, not just you, all of you, across the board, left, right, middle, whatever, across the board. At least our normal people standard or above for criminal activity. If you messed up, especially because didn't most of you take law? Like, don't you all know the law? Like, you cannot claim you didn't know you weren't supposed to do that when you are involved in the law. It makes no sense to me. And these celebrities that are constantly doing stuff that we wouldn't be able to do, and then they're like, oh, their lawyer will just handle it, they don't have to appear, or they'll turn themselves in to a certain PD department of their choice whenever they feel like it, whenever they sober up enough to do so. And yuck. I'm just so over, and I think in general, people are just over celebrities, over politicians. Granted, they get the best defense. Their money can buy the best defense. And I know there's nothing we can do about that. But the charges, the original charges, should be every bit as harsh as if Jane Schmo and Joe Schmo committed that act. Also, someone needs to... Have you seen some of Kanye's wife's latest outfits? You're not allowed to be in public like that. I'm not talking about body shaming or anything. She's got a great body. But, like, we have kids. And your whole crack is out. The whole crack. Not like a low, not the whole crack. The whole freaking crack. Ma'am. Okay. This one. I might have done this before, or I might have just talked about this before. I don't know, but if there's a child-centered event or a child-centered place, let's say like a children's museum, a children's play place, then yes, the child should be charged to enter, right? Parents paying for it anyways, obviously. But the first adult, the one caregiver, should not be charged to take their kid in. Maybe a second adult, and there should be like a smaller fee than... We're not having fun at these places, okay? I don't want to pay the same amount as the kid that I'm there for. I am there to caregive. So it's not, unless it's like a date, you have caregivers there, then charge the one amount for the person that wants to be there, the kid. And let the one adult in to manage the behaviors to keep their child safe, free. Like, I've been to a place before that was like a little play place for toddlers. And the child was like $14 to get in. And it was me and my husband, $14 to get in for each of us. We're doing this for our child. Yes, we like to see our child happy, but we don't really we're not going to play. We don't want to be on, we're just doing it as a nice gesture for our child so that our child can have a good day. Okay? I should not be charged the same amount. I'm not getting the same amount of joy out of this. It's work. It's work. Yes, we love to see their kids smile. We love to hear them giggle. We blah, 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 but we're not doing this for us. Don't charge us the same amount $14 to just sit there and watch your kid and make sure your kid's behaving. It doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. I get charged at $14 for the kid, but maybe like $5 for the adult, or $0 for the first adult, and like $10 for the, I don't know. Everything feels scammy these days. You know, next time I go to some place like that, I should just not even take my kid then. I should just start bouncing all over that stuff myself, right? If I can get in without a kid and I cost the same amount, just go in there and wreck shop. And there's weight requirements on everything too. Like it'll be like, oh, we have, you know, this stuff is made for toddlers. Well, then don't charge me. My stomach is about to start growling. Apologies in advance, or you're welcome in advance if that's your thing. Okay. DNF anything you're not enjoying. DNF it. Have a set amount of time you're willing to give a book or a show. For me, a show is like on the 3rd episode. If I'm still like, it's not grabbing me, I'll usually can it. On a book, about 75 pages. So if you already have a set amount of time that you're willing to give something before you make a decision, it makes it easier to call it quits. Do not force yourself to read things or watch things for hours just because you started them. There's not enough, we don't have enough time on earth for that. If you're not enjoying a show or a book, it's okay to DNF it. I've read books that I regretted putting that much time into. But I've never regretted DNFing a book. Granted, it does make it easier if you're not buying the book, and I don't recommend buying books. I recommend buying books that you've already read once and you want it in your library, but just buying books because they're new releases. How? They're $30 a pop now. $30 a pop. At least if you do the Kindle version, they're usually cheaper, so that makes a little more sense. Okay. Sorry, my heat kicked on. Nothing I can do about that. We have a cold front coming in. And it's windy outside. Okay, now this one, I don't know how we could make it work, but we have to make it work. Because I work in the school systems. And the stuff I've seen is just, granted, I'm in a high crime city. I'm in a they've defunded out of these schools. It's like broken window syndrome. A lot of and stuff in this city. The stuff I've seen at schools is just, you'll see it if you go down the rabbit hole on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. You'll see teachers just like, what? There's no way. So I think that if your kid gets enough referrals, that my whole family's up. I'm gonna have to end this video, but anyways, I think that parents should have to come in and watch their kids' behavior after it gets so far gone. And I know this poses a problem because parents work, but there's not enough solutions right now. And they need to witness it firsthand. The problem is, a lot of the parents are the same exact way as their kids. Like, that's why their kids are like that. But they're an adult, so if something pops off, it's two adults, right? I don't know. Okay.